Hello friends, today's topic is modern method of performance appraisal. So we understood the traditional methods of performance appraisal in the last video. Today we'll understand modern methods. The first method which we are going to discuss is management by objective. This is the most popular method. Many companies use this method. So in this method, what happens is, a superior and subordinates in a company. So they jointly, identify the goals to be reached. And, they define individuals' major areas of responsibility in terms of results expected of him, the responsibility of a subordinate, and, the result expected. Result here, if it is sales, so then how many products he should sell. If it is manufacturing, how many products he should manufacture. This type of results are expected from an individual. So then these measures as guide for operating the unit and assessing the contribution of each of its members. So here each the member, I mean the employees, they have to contribute. So that is drawn from the result expected of you. In simple terms, we can say that MBO is, here manager sets goals with each member and then periodically discuss his or her progress towards this goal. So diagrammatically we can explain MBO in this way. Uh, First, we define organization goals, the goals of the organization. So then define the objectives of the employees. So then monitor the performance of the employees, whether they are performing according to the goal set. So then performance evaluation is done. So then feedback is done. So this is what is performance appraisal. So in this way, through MBO, performance appraisal can be done. Next method of performance appraisal, so that is 360-degree appraisal. This is a very simple method. So in this method, it involves getting feedback about the employee from every individual who interacts with him during his working hours. So they can be peers, his subordinates, superiors, customers who have interacted with him, and even he himself would be interviewed about his perception about himself and his duties at the workplace. So this is very simple. So here is an employee. So his performance appraisal is being done. So then about his performance, the opinion, now what the superior say about this employee. So then from his peers, from subordinates, and from the customer. So from these people, you know the feedback is obtained. So this way you can say the appraisal is done. So this is 360-degree appraisal method. The next method is behaviorally anchored rating scales. So we call it as bars. So this is very simple method. So this is a combination of a rating scale and critical incident method. So that we studied in traditional methods. So if you combine rating scale and critical incident method, so behaviorally anchored rating scale method emerges. So under this method, what happens is the scale points are defined. So this is scale point. I have taken here an example. Scale points are defined. So from effective to ineffective, I mean from the highest to lowest. So that is behavior of the employee. So here behavior of the employee is measured in scale. So this is what is bars is all about. So usually bars consist of scale ranging from 5 to 7 points. So each representing continuum of statement that describes behavior of employee ranging from unacceptable to most effective. See here I have taken an example. So through bars how performance appraisal is done. So here it is employee is customer service. So in a hotel, how a customer gives service. So his behavior is measured. 7 is the highest, 1 is the lowest. So 7 can be given, his expected behavior should be, what he should do, explain the items on the menu and offer the recommendations based on customer stated tastes. So these are the different behaviors you can see. The worst case maybe could be expected to yell obscene tastes at customers. So in this way, different behaviors are noted here. So accordingly, his performance is measured. The next method is human resource accounting method. Again, this is a very simple method. So here human resources are a valuable asset. So everybody knows that in a company, human resources, they are considered as an asset. So to find the relative worth of the assets, so here to find the relative worth of the human resources. So in this method of performance appraisal, employee is judged in terms of cost and contribution. So remember these two words, cost and contribution. So here the cost includes expenses incurred like compensation, recruitment, selection, cost, induction. So here the total cost, the total amount of money the company has spent on an employee, and about his contribution in terms of money. So his contribution to the company and the amount of money the company has spent on him, so that is calculated. So here the difference is, the difference between the cost and the contribution will be performance of the employee. It's very simple. Okay, ideally the contribution of the employees should be greater than the cost incurred. So if the company has spent say around 5 lakh rupees on an employee, if his contribution to the company is 10 lakh rupees, so his performance is 5 lakh rupees. 10 minus 5, 5 lakh rupees. The last method is assessment center. So in this method, the assessment of the individual is done by various experts. So here different experts are involved. So by in assessing the individuals, so what they will do is they will use different techniques to assess the individual. So these techniques includes, it may be a in basket, a role playing, case study or simulation, etc. So with these techniques they assess an individual in a company. So these are the modern methods of performance appraisal. Now let us understand limitations of performance appraisal. There are certain limitations for this performance appraisal. The first is bias of appraiser. Sometimes the appraiser may be biased. There is a concept known as halo effect. So here, based on a single trait of an individual, his whole performance can be measured. So this is due to halo effect, performance appraisal may go wrong. Second limitation is ambiguity in standards. Sometimes the standards used to measure the performance, the standards may be ambiguous, they may not be clear. So when these standards are not clear, the supervisor may follow different standard. So this is the second limitation. Third one is average rating scale. So in order to give very low and very high rating, the top managers are required to give reason. So if you want to give a very low rating to an individual and very high rating to an individual, so then supervisor here, he has to justify. So to escape from this justification, so what they will do is they just give average rating to all the employees. So this is the third limitation. Fourth limitation is influence of man's job. So here performance appraisal is done for all, whether he is at the top level or mid level or at the low level. See, there is a tendency to give high rating to highly paid jobs, those who are at the top level of the management. When his performance appraisal is being done, so he will be given high rating, whereas those who are at lower level, those who are junior employees, so they will be given a lower rating. So this is the fourth limitation. So next one is similarity error. The evaluator tries to look those qualities in subordinates which he himself possesses. So here, one who is doing performance appraisal, what he might do is he might see the qualities that he has. For example, if he is punctual, he expects that the other employees should also be punctual. So this is similarity error. Last limitation is fear of losing subordinates and spoiling relationship. Especially bosses, those who are at higher level, so they do the performance appraisal who are at subordinate. So sometimes what they do is you know uh, they they give high rating, or they end up giving high grades. If they give low grades, so then their relationship with the subordinates may be spoiled. So to avoid that, what they will do is, so they will give high grade to the subordinates. So these are the limitations of performance appraisal. Thank you.